Next on Worcester News tonight, the city manager pitching Worcester to the PawSox. We'll have more on his letter to the minor league ball team. Plus, a disturbing discovery for a Central Mass family. Police now investigating the death of 2 baby goats. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. City manager Ed Augustus sends a letter to the Pawtucket Red Sox Wednesday, selling Worcester as the perfect place for the team. Politicians, community groups, and business leaders all signed their names to the letter. Our Cam Jandro has more on this letter and the proposition. Cam?
Catherine, the city manager and both Mayor Joseph Petty have sent out both Mayor Joseph Petty and the city manager have shown support bringing the PawSox here to Worcester, and today it all put in writing.
City officials sign their support.
Field at the track, Johnny Field, look, up and it is gone.
Tuesday, Worcester City Manager Edward Augustus sends Pawtucket Red Sox owner Larry Lucchino a letter urging the team to make its way to the city. In the letter, Augustus writes, 20 years ago, a pitch for a sports team could have been seen as an effort to save the city. Today, we see it as an effort to push a success story to its next chapter. President and CEO of Worcester's Chamber of Commerce, Tim Murray, says just being considered by the team is a positive.
But the one that they're negotiating with besides Pawtucket in terms of exploring alternative is Worcester. So that's a plus for the city. Whether the PawSox come or not, the fact they're here and there's momentum underway, this would be another feather in the cap.
More than 100 local business leaders, politicians, and community groups signed the manager's letter in hopes of convincing Lucchino. President of Worcester's Canal District Alliance, Eugene Zabinski, says he's thrilled to see the letter being sent.
The Canal District Alliance and I are very happy with the way Mr. Augustus and his team is negotiating with the PawSox at this point. They're at least talking to him. It's a very pleasant, welcoming attitude. Hopefully it goes further.
And while talks are still in the early phases, people who signed the manager's letter are excited moving forward.
It's not a political statement. It's not a financial backing. It just would be good for Worcester, period.
That conversation is worth having, but I commend the city manager and the mayor for proactively reaching out with the support of the council, and it's something that we've been a part of at the chamber as well, and exploring this.
Now, Zabinski says the next step in the process is to send these Worcester Red Sox postcards to Governor Charlie Baker and Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito as they look to get support from the State House. Catherine?
Thank you, Cam, for that report. National Grid says Worcester's pilot grid modernization project saved customers more than $1 million in electrical cost over the past year. The company has proposed a plan allowing electrical systems to better respond to outages. The grid modernization plans could range between $200 and $790 million over 5 years, which could drive utility bills up for customers by 0.6 to 2%. National Grid says the pilot program in Worcester has been successful, and only 2% of customers opted out. The program encourages customers to reduce power during peak times. It's all part of a push for renewable energy and combating climate change. The company has filed several grid modernization plans with state regulators. An electrical company working in Worcester is cited by the Attorney General's office Tuesday after allegedly underpaying employees. In a press release, the AG's office says the Wilmington-based company had employees in Worcester working on a public project to repair streetlights. 3 intentional civil citations were issued against Wilmington Wiring Corporation and its owner for failure to pay the prevailing wage, failure to furnish payroll records, and failure to furnish certified payroll records to the AG's office. The company closed in May of 2016. The AG's office says they've been investigating since January of 2016. A gruesome discovery in West Brookfield. Police there are investigating after 2 baby goats were killed. And investigators say the animals were left for their owners to discover them. Our Brittany Schaefer has the latest on the investigation.
Macy Gomo raises goats on her family's farm. She was horrified when she heard 2 baby goats were intentionally killed just up the street.
I would be devastated because they don't do anything wrong. They're innocent bystanders, and if somebody had a message to send, it was a really, really cruel one.
West Brookfield police say their necks were broken and the suspects left the dead baby goats on the back steps of their owner's home.
She noticed the goats as she was walking out her back door, which had been placed right as you exited the back door, basically looking towards the door. They were intentionally placed there.
If a fox got the goats, I mean, I would have felt really, really awful, but there's an explanation for it. This, there's no explanation for.
Police say there were no cameras in the area and no evidence has been recovered.
It's obviously somebody who knew the family or knew that the goats were there. The goats had only been there for 4 weeks, and it's not like it was a farm, it was a residence.
Gomo has known the victims for a long time and says the goats were their pets.
They're scared. When somebody has the capacity to hurt an animal and a baby animal, who really knows what they can do? And so they want some answers and they want a sense of relief.
Gomo says she doesn't understand how anyone could do this.
If you have animals, if you have anything that you love that really is pretty innocent, you have to feel at least somehow connected and understand that it can happen to a lot of people. It could have happened to us. There's a real awful place saved for people who could hurt an innocent animal.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Dozens of students at a local driving school are forced to cancel their road test. The school says the state failed to provide enough examiners, and now students are going to have to wait until the end of September to try to get their driver's license. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Getting a driver's license is a big day for many teens, but for 60 students at the Central Massachusetts Safety Council Auto School, it's a milestone they're going to have to wait even longer for.
Parents are very upset. They want their kids to get their license so they can stop driving them to football, baseball, field hockey practice.
Tim Cooney is the president of the Auto School in West Boylston. He says on August 5th, they received an email from the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles saying the Saturday, August 12th road test had been denied due to coverage.
A lot of auto schools want to do the road test on Saturday, keep the kids in school during the week. During the school year, parents don't have to take time off of work to go to the registry. It's worked out like a charm up until the last 5 years.
Cooney says before 2007, the state police would conduct road tests. But ever since the RMV took over, it's been harder to find people to conduct them. And Cooney says there's already more than 500 students waiting to take the test.
They don't have enough people to do the job. We're not the only school that's been impacted by this. It's no way to run a business, in my opinion. The state should be serving the businesses. The businesses are paying the taxes to keep the state going.
The Massachusetts RMV didn't respond to why the tests were canceled, saying in a statement, while the registry is not in the practice of canceling tests, we work closely with driving schools to assign the available number of road tests in advance. The CMSE students will have to wait until the end of September to take their test.
They finish driving and then they have to wait 2 months, which is absurd. They're ready to go. And they need the experience.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
As Massachusetts prepares to fully implement the recreational marijuana law, state officials are promising to crack down on marijuana-impaired driving. Starting tomorrow, state police are increasing the number of officers with special training in detecting whether motorists are under the influence of THC, which is the psychoactive chemical in marijuana. The fear is that the legalization of recreational marijuana will cause a spike in impaired driving crashes.
Before legalization, marijuana and marijuana-type drugs were the most common type of drugs found in people killed in car crashes from 2010 to 2014 in Massachusetts. In fact, as you all may recall, last year, Trooper Thomas Clardy was killed during a routine traffic stop when he was struck by a car being driven by a man who allegedly used marijuana before the crash.
Officials also unveiled a public education campaign featuring radio and TV spots and billboard messages aimed at younger adults who may not recognize the dangers of driving after consuming marijuana. An assisted living center in Auburn is turning what's old into gold. They're raising money for Alzheimer's with a unique antique roadshow event. Our Chandler Walsh was there today and has more. Chandler?
Catherine, the assisted living center told me they chose to do an antique event because their seniors have loved ones of a different generation. That means they have items most people haven't seen before, and they want to know what they're worth. Dozens of hopefuls wait to find out what their antiques are worth. They came to Brookdale Eddy Pond with their collectibles, china, and memorabilia.
Vintage, early century, old.
There, senior professional appraiser Peter Jovanovich put his 25 years of expertise to work, appraising items and explaining what makes them valuable.
There's quite a few things right now that I'm starting to see that are quite interesting. There's another English set there for English china, which I think is worth a lot of money.
Attendees paid $10 to have one item appraised and $20 for 3. Brookdale Eddy Pond West organized Wednesday night's event to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association.
So Alzheimer's is a disease that is fatal, and it kills 1 in 3 seniors. It kills more people than breast and prostate cancer combined. The statistics are staggering.
Brookdale Eddy Pond's Melissa Landry says the disease will cost the country $1.1 trillion by the year 2050. She says that means the need for research and a cure is a must.
All the proceeds that we make here tonight are going to the Alzheimer's Association for the walk that is coming up in September.
The Alzheimer's Association says the walks move hundreds of thousands of people across the country to raise awareness. The association is thankful for Wednesday's event and its contribution.
It's just so nice to see everyone here together and such a light, festive event to raise money for the cause.
Brookdale Eddy Pond's Melissa Landry says the event raised more than $500 tonight. And Worcester's Walk to End Alzheimer's is September 24th at Quinsigamond Community College. Catherine?
All right, Chan.